Terrible floods in Balochistan. Sindh is being ravaged. And I mention these two provinces particularly because in our daily tabulations, while I'm not the Met Office nor meant to be, in our daily tabulations we see the percentage of torrential downpours this year exceeding almost all grounds. Now, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has also been facing a fair amount of monsoon damage, but really the brunt of it is being faced, as we all know, by Balochistan and then Sindh, especially Karachi, which has seen unprecedented rain. Cities like Karachi don't take more than a few millimeters, nor are they designed for it. This year they've been seeing more than 200. Anyway, Balochistan has seen more than 620% of, 605, I beg your pardon, percent of rain this year on a 30-year average. That's how the Met Office calculates its averages, but I believe it's one of the highest ever. 600% than normal is actually quite devastating. Sindh was predicted and is facing it. The predictions come late because that is the way of the weather, as you know. 525%, 525% and 605% over any averages should sober us up and make us think about what it is we need to do. Obviously, our disaster preparedness was informed in time, NDMAs, PDMAs. I'm sorry to take a little time on the weather as opposed to the climate, but I think that's important to address right now because it's a manifestation. These are outcomes of the slow onset of climate change, which brings me to the next point. It is no longer a slow onset, ladies and gentlemen. The climate change as predicted by models, by scientists all over the world, and these are calculated at the annual and presented at the annual Conference of Parties by the United Nations and its entire huge infrastructure of a calculus on climate science. I'm sorry, but the models are failing. We are far behind, not just in catching up. In fact, our disaster preparedness, I was just telling my colleague, Mr. Simon, at the podium, is better than most countries, given the amount of resources we face. But the climate catastrophe that we are facing is clearly very global, and it is impacting our lives in ways that we did not think would impact us in this decade or 2022. What is happening to the world today, and of course Pakistan, was supposed to happen much later if global leaders did not act, if countries did not reduce their emissions, if they did not take all